Well, good afternoon. We are live at the Clinton Presidential Center having a little chat here on Facebook Live with my good friend Rehman Chishti, who's a member of Parliament from the UK, visiting Little Rock for the first time, and it's a lot of fun to have you. We're glad you're here.
Well, thank you so very much, and I'm delighted to be here. And I've got to say, before I came to Arkansas, they said to me, do you know what? Your constituency is in Kent, it's the Garden of England. We have to match you up with, the Garden of the United States of America, and we have to match you up with a brilliant congressman. And there's not many who can say they were 34 and they were in the executive of the United States government. So, I haven't been disappointed, sir.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I'm proud to be the congressman from these central Arkansas counties, the 2nd Congressional District of Arkansas. We've had a good time today. We've been to Central High School and seen the preparations for the 60th anniversary of the Little Rock 9 and the integration of public schools here in Little Rock. We've been over at the Historic Arkansas Museum and learned a little bit about the rich social and cultural history of Arkansas. But I really appreciate you coming to the Venture Center and talking about skilled workforce and how our regions in Kent and in Arkansas, how we can collaborate on jobs and trade. I thought it was a great discussion.
I think it was great. And I think if you look at in terms of history and heritage, this morning it was absolutely fantastic to go to the airbase.
Right.
Back at home in Gillingham, we have the Royal Engineers, which are a key part of our history and heritage, and we have the Royal Navy in the Medway towns for many, many, many years.
Right.
And so I think collaboration on whether it's on military, security, but then to go back and speak to your local businesses was amazing, because we're doing exactly the same thing with Innovation Centre back in the Medway towns, giving the businesses the support so they can move forward. And what I found was, which came across quite easily, was that many of those businesses want to do the same thing, whether it's back in England or it's over here in the United States, and it's about getting them to work together. So at the end of the day, if they work together, it's great for our businesses, it's great for our economy, and it's good for our countries.
Right. Well, what we're trying to do in the U.S. right now is improve our K through 12 education system and make sure that our kids that we want to have an aspirational future when they turn 18, if they want to go skilled workforce instead of college, make sure that we're preparing them for that, and that they're looking for apprenticeship opportunities and how to get into maybe just a few years of college with some skilled trades. And we admire what the English system of education is in that regard, and also over in Germany. The last 20 years, we've kind of gotten away from it. And now I think we're going back to the future, if you will, on helping our kids find a path to a successful pursuit of happiness in a career, profitable career, awesome career, but not necessarily just college bound. So that was, your insights on that were great.
Well, I think, working with you and listening to your businesses about getting our future generation to have the right skill set was absolutely immense. And I went away thinking, you know what, on apprenticeships, with what you're doing and what we're doing, we've increased apprenticeships by over 2 million in our country. And we're saying, look, if you want to get the right skill set, you've got to look at not simply academic qualifications, but in every city back home, we have a university technical college to make sure that we are producing the future engineers, and making sure that, ensuring that every child who has a different skill set, it can be achieved to the true potential. And I think by working together, and what I saw here with your Chamber of Commerce and what they're trying to do with business, enterprise and skill set for the future generation, is exactly what we're doing back at home. And I think working together, we can get them to do really well for both of our towns and our communities.
Well, it was good you went out to Little Rock Air Force Base today, where it's the center of Airlift Command here in the U.S., the C-130s that are the workhorse of supporting both our international military operations and humanitarian operations. And it was neat to get you in a C-130J in the cockpit and also in the back, see how they work. And we have over 40 countries have come here and trained in Little Rock. So this is a very international center of excellence for C-130 airlifts. It's where we have all the training for the pilots, for the load masters. And this is an integrated force around the world, including the airmen from the UK. So that was a neat chance to share that with you as well.
But also, I think the other question that came out was about the health inequalities and the work that you've done on mental health.
Right.
And also back at home, I put forward 2 bills in Parliament on mental health, working with the Royal College of Psychiatrists, to see that we have similar challenges, happening with regards to addressing some of those issues on mental health.
Right.
And good to see what you're doing and see how we can link it back to what we're doing back at home and sharing good practice.
Yeah. We have a real mental health crisis in this country, and it's 3 decades in the making. Part of it was some errors, I think, that the federal and state governments did in not adequately providing inpatient beds. We had something like over 500,000 inpatient mental health care beds in the 70s. Now we're in the well under 100,000 in the country. So, and our population's obviously doubled. So we have a lot of our mentally ill on the streets, in our jails, and it's completely nuts. Not right, not good public policy. And so I'm real pleased that last year the Congress took action to begin to develop a strategy to improve mental health, and we hope we can share ideas back and forth on how do we get them the care they need, change our laws in the states and the federal government to give better care, and have it be sustained care.
So, are you ready to ask each other some trivia questions?
Some trivia questions.
Yeah, no, I am. But I think you've prepared more than I have.
We're ready.
They have many more research than we do back at home, so there's double the amount of research going on with Congressman Hill.
Okay, great. So the first question, and this is for you, Mr. Chishti. What pie is Arkansas known for? A, possum pie. B, apple pie. C, pecan pie. D, rhubarb pie.
You've never taken me to a pie restaurant here.
No, I haven't.
And I was expecting, Congressman Hill, to make sure that I get to see all the different, things that your great town has to offer. So if I get it wrong, it's his fault, not mine. But if I get it right, it's by good luck.
Good luck
so
with
can
this
you,
one.
Can you do that again?
Possum pie.
Yeah.
Apple pie.
It's not the apple pie.
Pecan pie. Rhubarb pie.
It's pecan pie.
The answer is possum pie.
And let me tell you something. I ain't taking you to a pie restaurant that sells possum pie. Who comes up with this?
I don't know.
Okay, question 2. What was Little Rock briefly renamed in 1821? A, Rockville. B, Arkansas City. C, Arcopolis. D, Springfield.
Boom, 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 boom.
Can we try that again?
A, Rockville.
Yeah.
Arkansas City.
Yeah.
Arcopolis.
Yeah.
Or Springfield.
Guys, this is hard. Who came up with this?
I think the State Department.
Well, look, I've only been
No wonder
here.
the world has so many problems.
Wow, tell me about it. I've only landed it last night, and you haven't taken me around enough and shared the history.
I know.
Yeah.
I've tried the best
Many of your
I can.
generations come from here, so you should have told me all this.
Oh, I know the answer, but the question has been placed to you, sir.
What was the answer?
Arcopolis.
No, it's Springfield. Spring.
The
No,
answer,
is Arcopolis.
you are correct. It is Arcopolis.
Well done, my man.
Okay.
He's brilliant. This man was a barrister. He's
Do you know what?
been an
This is
advisor
why
to national governments all over the world in 2 countries.
Do you know, that's why 2 great countries work so well. We're very good at thinking alike and getting things right at the end.
We help each other.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay. Question 3. What is the name of the civil rights memorial depicting the Little Rock Nine? A, Foundation. B, An Education. C, The Walk. D, Testament.
Well, I was there today, and it was. I was there earlier today. They've got a great head principal there, Nancy, and I learned a lot, and it was so much to take in. So I'm going to go with this. I think it's probably D.
You are correct. It is Testament.
Very
It's
good.
amazing. I mean, you learned so
great.
much today. He loved our Central High is one of the most inspirational places in Little Rock.
It is.
And you got to see the best principal. She is a dynamo.
But it was great to see where you've got politicians working well with their schools, and the interaction I saw with Nancy, the principal there, and Congressman Hill was brilliant in terms of supporting one another. And you want to see best schools, and you want to see students achieve their true potential.
And their record is remarkable.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay, last question for
Last
you.
question.
Yeah.
We've kind of delayed it. The last question.
Which famous American musician was born in Kingsland, Arkansas?
Yeah.
A, Ella Fitzgerald.
Right.
B, Elvis Presley.
Gosh, definitely not.
C,
No, I
Johnny
do like
Cash.
Elvis Presley, but yeah.
C, Johnny Cash. Or D, Frank Sinatra.
Well, I love sports. I'm not a musician, so I'm going to take a guess on this. It's not Elvis Presley. I ruled that out. This is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire back at home. And I can't call a friend either.
He already has, I think.
But this is my friend. This is my friend. Good friend. I think I don't need your help on this one.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I'm going to go with, is it cash?
It is.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Hang on a minute. Am I certain on this? I am. I'm going to go with that.
You're correct.
Oh,
Johnny
brilliant.
Cash, well done. You
Done.
did very well.
What, 3 out of 4?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's
now
impressive.
for you, Congressman.
3 out of 4.
Here we go.
Can't be that.
Okay, question number 1. What nut is Kent known for producing? A, peanut.
This, we're excluding the members of Parliament, right? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Thank you
Good
very
going.
much.
Question for you. B, cashew.
right.
C, almond. D, hazelnut.
And what was the first one?
Peanut.
Peanut. Well, certainly not.
Not peanut.
I'm thinking someplace of that sophistication. They specialize in world-class desserts, eaten on beautiful green lawns, manicured with views of the sea, and they would have hazelnuts. D.
You are correct. It is hazelnut.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Congressman? Well, you're a great congressman here, but with that kind of passion for our country, you should be a member of Parliament back at home.
Well, you never know. They may force me over there. We love. I can see that now. Can't you see a cup of tea and some hazelnuts?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Wisconsin.
Next question. What iconic geographic formation is located in Kent? A, Arthur's Seat. B, Seven Sisters. C, White Cliffs of Dover. Or D, the Giant's Causeway.
Could you say that again?
Arthur's Seat.
Is this Kent?
This is Kent. Yeah.
Kent, yeah.
This is-
Okay, yeah.
B, Seven Sisters. C, White Cliffs of Dover. D, the Giant's Causeway.
Man, it's difficult for me because I don't know my southeastern English geography perfectly. But of course, we all know that we're there at the mouth, and we're just across from Calais, and so.
What do you have? What do you have when you get across there? What's really describes as you coming in from
Well, I would think
France into the best
I mean,
country?
I would say the best country in the world if you were like rowing over there or trying to come over with the Norman.
And what colour would you
conquest.
see this background?
It seems like they'd be white cliffs of Dover, perhaps.
Why don't you go with that?
I'll go with that answer.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are correct. White Cliffs of Dover.
It's amazing.
Great minds think alike.
I love the English Channel.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Many people do when they come away from France to us.
Which historical Native American was buried in Kent?
Don't look at me.
A, Muhammad Wayanaman. B, Pocahontas. C, Sacagawea. D, Charging Thunder.
Well, I'm going for obscure. I don't think it's Sacagawea, who was the guide to Lewis and Clark. And I don't think it was Pocahontas, but it could have been because she married an Englishman, I guess, in theory. So you think she traveled back to England and is buried in Kent? Pocahontas, who married, during the famous Virginia settlement?
But I think everything is possible in Kent.
Well,
So much history.
yeah, but Charging Thunder is such a good name. It sounds like the new film you're going to produce.
Well, if you're going to races, that could be a good name to go with.
Yeah. Well, because of the Virginia connection, my mother's a Virginian. I'll go with Pocahontas.
You are correct. It is Pocahontas.
There we go.
Very good.
There we
Very
go.
good.
I like it.
Is that 3-3?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's 3-3.
Yeah.
So fourth one.
Okay, here we go.
Which Lord of the Rings actor?
And you've got to read them with an accent, I think. That
Oh,
I
I can't
won't
do
really
that.
recognize them. If you don't.
Which Lord of the Rings actor was
That is
born
very
in
good.
Kent?
Yes.
A. Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
B.
Blanchett.
B. Ian McKellen. C. Andy Serkis. Or D. Orlando Bloom.
Well, I think you guys did that impeccably.
It was
well.
quite good.
Yeah, well, you do love our accent, do you?
It was spectacular. Let's see. What was C?
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, is that a person or a place, or
Well,
is that an actor in
Well, I
England?
would say you'll all have to look at that very carefully.
I should, but I'm going to go with Orlando Bloom, I think.
Are you sure?
I think so, yes. Maybe not. It's not Kate Blanchett.
You're cool.
Oh, man.
And you are correct. 4 for 4, Orlando Bloom.
Oh, you win.
Sorry. But you are the marathoner. And my mile is like, like a 15-minute
No,
mile.
but what I would say is that if I can come back to Arkansas and you can come to Kent,
Yeah.
you do a marathon here, is that we should have a race in the marathon. We should do it both for charity. I ran the London Marathon for Cancer Research, and I think we both should do it for charity, and whoever wins, then...
And do we have like in golf, can I be handicapped?
You're very fit. I've seen your bio. But I do think the loser should do a forfeit.
Okay, this will be continued in a future Facebook Live presentation where we negotiate the London versus the Little Rock Marathon planning.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Thank you
That
very
was
much.
fun, you bet.
So, a couple questions for you. What are some things that you've noticed in common between Little Rock and Kent or Gillingham?
Well, I think that what I've noticed is that the great people of Little Rock share the same values as we do back home in Gillingham and Raynham. Respect for rule of law, democracy, freedom, and wanting to be able to achieve their true potential. And that's by giving them the right skill set. Mm-hmm. And so when I went to the school today, I was absolutely delighted to speak to the young students that Congressman Hill has got as part of his leadership program. And I think if you give them the right skill set and the vision and the aspiration to achieve what they want to achieve, I could see future congressmen, in that classroom over there, and women. And at the same time, also, I think what you've got is you've got businesses who are thinking out the box. For us, as we leave the European Union, we're working with our key partners around the world, and collaboration from business to business, I think, is going to be absolutely crucial. Not simply big corporates, but I think small businesses. And I think you've got great small businesses over here. We have that and the desire to succeed, and I think we can succeed.
Right.
And why do you think exchange programs like the one that you're participating in right now are important?
Who do you want us to go first, myself or Congressman Hill?
Whoever would like to answer first.
Well, I think they're essential. It's important, and Arkansas is really the centerpiece of exchange programs because one of the most famous in the world is the Fulbright Scholarship, named for Senator Bill Fulbright, who was the longtime senator from Arkansas and a mentor to President Clinton, in whose library we are seated. Yeah. And so thousands of students have done exchanges for education in this world. And, but this kind of exchange we're doing among parliamentarians is very important because many of the world's problems are common across our countries and our societies. And finding those solutions and sharing best practices and ideas is very important. So number one, it's looking at our own domestic situations and finding good ideas that we see among our other friends in the world. But secondly, finding solutions to some of the thorniest problems in foreign affairs are essential. And so I think the dialogue that we have between the British and American parliamentarians is just an example of what we should do more of. And so I'm delighted to have you in Arkansas, and I look forward to visiting you in Kent.
I think also if you're looking at domestic issues in relation to health, we talked about mental health earlier, there's things which we're doing, in our country in relation to parity of esteem between mental health and physical health, and seeing how we can take that forward. And I think, in terms of the work you're doing over here, so I would say you've got similar problems, but you're trying to find solutions to them. And sometimes you've got somebody, on one side of the pond, who's found a good initiative which can be taken forward. If we didn't have the exchange programs, we wouldn't be able to share those ideas at an early stage. And you're absolutely right. Whether it's then, looking at the bigger issues, whether it's in Syria, Iran, and Korea, I think we all want to work together to help address some of those big security challenges facing our great country. And often, you want to achieve the same thing, but you might be able to get there in a different way. If you didn't interact, you wouldn't be able to know what different solutions that you can work towards achieving that greater end. So I would say, from national issues through, domestic issues, and also in terms of interlinking people to people. Right. We've got a great city over here, and tourism is massive. And I would be able to, go back and say to my constituents, tourism, whether it's businesses, whether it's, looking at educational cooperation, there is a great opportunity there. And one thing I would say, Congressman Hill, you are linked with Nottingham, but Gillingham and Kent is a great place as well. So I think twinning presses between our two great cities and towns could be very good as well.
Yeah. And, the Internet's shrunk our world in terms of facts. We can Google things, we can research things, but there is no substitute for face-to-face communication, no substitute for face-to-face exchanges. This is the power of the world or people's interconnections, and it can't be replaced just by virtue of the fact that we can find out a lot of good information factually and visually through the internet. So I think face-to-face and people exchanges are critical.
Yeah.
We actually have a question from Facebook. Carlos asks how your trip has impacted your view of government, you specifically. Your view, how has your experience in Arkansas affected your...
Well, look, I think the view I already had before I came was, look, United States is very much on call with United Kingdom in the sense that we have the separation of power between the executive, the judiciary, the legislature. And so what I would say on that, what I found here is that in your great country, same as in our great country, there's a belief in rule of law, freedom, democracy, and we may be able to do things differently, but the commitment and desire of your elected representatives to wanting to achieve the great for your country and having those checks and balances, I think is very much what we have back home in the United Kingdom. But I would say what I found, you've got elected representatives who are passionate about ensuring that they make the right decisions for the people of their great country.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for participating in this. Do you have any final words for Facebook that you'd like to say? Final farewell?
Well, I think Facebook Live is a great way to share the great day that we've had together in Little Rock, Arkansas, and talk about how United Kingdom and the United States, which have a terrific tradition of a special relationship between our two countries and our two peoples, in solving not only challenges for our own domestic constituents, whether they're in Kent or here in Arkansas, but how we work together for a better, freer, safer world, and how we promote Western civilization. And I mean that sincerely, which are the values of individual freedom and democracy and individual rights. How do we share that in the right way? And how do we tackle some of the most difficult foreign policy challenges of the world? We've had this chance to visit about that, and that is the value of, I think, the parliamentary dialogues. And I think it's particularly neat to share some of the thoughts that we've had just by sharing the day together with all of our friends out on Facebook.
I think also for me, I think when you're a parliamentarian, you want to be able to look at other parliamentarians to see what they're doing to best represent their constituents. And what I was very taken back by was the Young Leaders program you have with the school children, which was absolutely amazing, where you go through the Constitution, you look at the rights that every citizen in the United States has, you look at how government has checks and balances, and to get that instilled in our younger generation at an early outset, I think can make them great citizens because they know what their rights are. Often when you have problems in democracies is when people don't know what their rights are. So the way you constructed that program, and then you'll be going back to speak to them and to look at what they've done, the research they've done, and to come back to you as their parliamentarian, as their representative, and question you about how the system works. That's something which I hadn't done to that level. So I'm going to be going back and looking at how you've done it very well over here with inspiring that younger generation, and to be best aware of how to access their rights and how the Constitution works for them. So I'm learning from you as a parliamentarian to see how and to take good practice back home as well.
Well, this is he's talking about a program that I've recently started called Future Leaders, and it's geared to fifth graders and all around our district, from kids that are in fifth grade to come talk about the Constitution, talk about civics in an interactive way, get their feedback, and they've got some homework they do. And it's just wonderful to engage with kids at that age. So much of the work we do, I think, as political leaders is with older young people who are more along in their studies. And to me, this is such a formative time in that fifth and sixth grade, seventh grade year in schooling here in the States, where it's a great time to talk about some of these important concepts like our Constitution, its founding principles, and how we live with it every day. And we talked about that today. Let's tell them, if they want to reach you, what's your official way to be communicated with? If somebody wanted to email you or ask you a question, how should they reach out to you?
It's easy. The best way to do it is they can contact me on Twitter. They can contact me in my parliamentary office, and the email on that is rehman.chishti.mp@parliament.uk. they can contact me on Facebook. Every day that I've been here in the United States, I do a message out there, say what I've been up to, because I think at the end of the day, being a parliamentarian or a congressman or a senator is about accessibility.
Right.
Your constituents should be able to contact you. They need to know what you're doing. And also sometimes, you know what, they may not have an issue, but when they see you or see you on television or Facebook Live, they may think of something and they want a clarification on that. So I would say Twitter, Facebook, email, writing, anyway, I think it's good for me.
That's great. Well, it's been great to have our MP with us, and you can reach me at hill.house.gov or on Facebook at Congressman French Hill. It's been a pleasure to have you with us at the Clinton Presidential Center. It's been fun for us to be together today, and we'll sign off. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you very much.